think we've got everything figured out. I think I'm actually live again. It's been a little while. Since I've managed to do one of these things. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna move things a little bit here. Still making some adjustments. This is not. I mean, well, this is Levi Smith's Art Stream, and I am Levi Smith. And today we are going to be doing a bit of live drawing. That's kind of what this channel is. Yeah, and still getting stuff figured out. Still getting used to doing this whole thing. Still trying to get onto a routine. So that's what we're doing. Today, the thing about this, yeah, is I start drawing, at least for right now, from nothing. We're just going to see where that leads. I don't have anything planned. I do have an idea in mind, so I think that will be fun, and we'll just see where things go. I'm going to do this for about a half an hour or so, whether we finish or not, wherever that goes. And then I guess I'm just going to talk about whatever comes to mind as I go along with this. Today's idea or theme or whatever is robots. I love robots. Robots are fun. They can be easy to draw, lots of basic shapes. Oh yeah, get some coffee. This is not a tutorial channel. I'm not trying to teach anybody to draw. But yeah, take it as you will. We'll see where it goes. Now, because my drawing tablet is down over here and I'm going to be hunched, excuse me, hunched out of the screen, my little drawing tablet over here, I'm going to switch over to this screen here, and we're going to just kind of get into this. Oh man, yeah, so let me just bump a couple things, make some noise, get another drink of coffee. Stall just another minute here while I think of robots. Let's see. I think I'm gonna start off. So I have in the Sequential Disorder webcomic, I have a couple of robot characters. And this guy, you know what? I don't want to go. Let's do something. Do something dynamic with this guy instead of just some static, boring pose. Let's do this. Just gonna scribble some stuff in here, kind of like last episode I was mentioning this whole blank canvas idea and the infinite possibilities of the perfect white canvas. I mean, this can be anything, you know, it's literally the possibilities are endless. But as soon as you start making marks on that surface, the possibilities diminish. Everything kind of reduces itself to more and more specific potential outcomes until you arrive at something that is very specifically not infinite, but you know, a cool drawing. And so yeah, so there's an intimidation factor that comes with that. And so one of my techniques is just to kind of start scribbling onto the canvas, see where things go, try not to be too precious about it, and just kind of, you know, start making shapes and play. You know, this allows more, I guess, genuine creativity. You know, sometimes it's like staring at clouds. You'll see something in the scribble that you didn't mean to do, and then you just kind of go with it. Other times, whatever vision or idea that you have in your head kind of evolves, whether because of your ability to capture that idea in your head, or coming up with something more interesting as you're trying to get there. There's an interesting thing where people will often say they just can't, they can see it in their mind, they just can't get it out. And that's one of those things where the muscle memory, the physicality of drawing really gets into it. Like, I can't draw with my left hand. I can't write with my left hand as well as I can write or draw with my right hand. And I think a lot of that also has to do with repetitive use, versus just the mentality of drawing. Using the mental techniques, the knowledge of it. There's definitely a physicality of it, and that's why I think it takes so long to get good at it. I mean, to get good at anything, but drawing's no different. But I think it's just as learnable as anything else too. As learnable as driving or playing a piano or anything quite like that. Drawing is totally a learnable thing. I don't necessarily think that you have to be talented to be able. I mean, there is some amazing ability that seems to come natural for some people, but frankly, a lot of that, the vast majority of it, comes more from skill, more from practice than magical talent. Just innate ability. To play on it. So this is, excuse me, this is Io. He is a security droid on a starbase, and he hates rags. He leads a squad of, make this one more the actual hand. I'm not going to erase anything quite yet. Just use that shape. So his hands are transformative, turn into hands or guns, or other stuff, claws, hooks. Do this real quick. Just gonna put in a couple of simple details here. So I have a style guide for him about how exactly I should be drawing a lot of these different elements. I'm not going to use the style guide. I'm just going to kind of play off of memory. He's not really that complex of a character here. He's just a cartoon robot with this big old singular googly eye. And then he's got these minions. I'll bring him down over here. And then I'm gonna draw his minions, these murder bots. Probably end up coming up with a better name for these guys, but for now, we're gonna do. Like that big. is kind of shows excuse me. It kind of shows some distance, depth. Right, so these guys, and they're all built by the same manufacturer, so they have a similar kind of design motif as far as science fiction terms go. So they're going to have a similar kind of googly eye. I want them all, I mean, obviously, IO here is giving us the direction of everything. So these guys have got to kind of convey if they're being called upon. I'm just going to put a ton of them in. Why not? These murder bots need friends. Alright, so I'll go with this one. Build up this whole thing. Yeah, we'll give this guy funky shoulder pad. So these guys, yeah, these guys aren't really a big creative stretch. They are a sphere with just a bunch of greeblies, just a bunch of random techno-doodles built off of them, and then arms. I don't worry about any kind of like propulsion or what any of this stuff means. I just try to change it all up. Usually I'll put like a little number. Somewhere. This guy's a little small for that, I guess, but and then just give him some cartoon robot hands. Now one of the things with these guys, I don't know what it is, but I like giving them primitive weapons. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, it's funny. or just weird. Coffee. Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna give this guy a spear. It's a classic weapon for these guys. They also hate their primitive weapons. If you've at all read any of my webcomic strips with these guys, they're not always impressed with the tasks they're given, or the tools that they're given to complete those tasks. Blinder kind of thing there. So I can just give some of these little teeth, greeblies. Yeah, so robots are awesome. You know, they're this weird kind of life form that, you know, humanity has brought forth. You know, so much so that, you know, they scare the shit out of us. You know, robot takeovers, uprisings, are robot overlords, artificial intelligence. There's a ton of that, man. I mean, Imagine imagine like really complex robotic systems where you could have um, robotic system that that self-replicates, uh, that gathers its own resources, like say like a plant that grows light bulbs as a fruit. And you stick this little robot seed into the ground, and it uses the resources and minerals and stuff available to it. Gathers all those and then manufactures a little light bulb. And then you can pluck that light bulb off and use it. And then when the light bulb finally dies, uh, inside the light bulb is essentially like a seed where you can just plant it in the ground, and then it would grow. It would literally grow into a light bulb plant. It would be just be tripped out, and those kinds of say mechanical processes and everything, might totally be possible in the future. Little solar panels, little assembly mechanisms and stuff, 3D printer type technology where it's collecting minerals and then fabricating them into the parts that they need, refabricating parts of itself, growing little leaf like solar panels and stuff. It'd be nuts. It'd be nuts. Cool little sci-fi kind of concepts, and then imagine from there, you're growing robots. They're self-replicating. They're sharing bits of technology and data with each other and stuff to design and construct better versions of themselves. Just kind of as we do, yet way more deliberately. And that's scary, That's scary, especially for human beings, which are, naturally a predatory animal, and to consider the predatory possibilities of something else that can horribly outclass us. Especially just give us some time, As far as weapons of war, construction, maintenance, productivity, robots are a trip. And I think that they're inescapable. I mean, they are really going to be coming into a major play here, I think, in people's more everyday lives, as they just get more sophisticated, get more capable, advanced. They're going to get cheaper. Stuff like Roombas and stuff. Imagine a lawnmower type Roomba, or like an R2D2 kind of unit, trash can kind of thing. You can just call to you, put stuff in it, takes dishes to the dishwasher. Maybe it is a dishwasher. Yeah, I mean, there's some wild stuff. I don't think we've seen anything even close to what the possibilities are, especially for consumer robotics. I mean, and I won't even get into concepts of companionship type robots, from like little Tamagotchi pets for your kids to the less savory kind of dolls that adults might be more interested in. I mean, it's endless. I mean, like, imagine that Apple comes out with a new iPhone, and it's really just like a little pill, and then you eat that pill, and inside it are all these tiny little nanobots, and they go to where they're programmed to go, into your ocular nerves, your auditory nerves and stuff, spatial and visual processing centers in your brain, and then build the machinery and the robot interface and connect with those nerve endings, then to hijack them and put a display directly inside your retina on a biological level, turn your eyes into cameras, your ears into microphones, your brain into an actual digital storage device, where everything that you see and read, see and hear, gets recorded, and then you can transmit that, send it to someone else, share it, sell it, and then and then it's digital telepathy at that point. Then you can interface, directly with a car, with a microwave, with a RC car or a drone, and really, and really like become the Borg, as it were. Linking directly with people's shared experiences and stuff. I really don't think that stuff's far off. I mean, we're working towards it as hard and as fast as we can. If you look at the time span between humans, figuring out how to fly, to us landing on the moon, that's some pretty incredible technological development in a short amount of time. And that's not just the only example of that sort of thing. We've gone from the creation of the internet, to the internet being used as an indisputable, indispensable tool for social movements, upheavals, expression, exposure to other people's expression. I mean, it really is, the most powerful thing for freedom of speech ever. It's just making people so mad about it. Being kind of like forced to see more challenging and opposing ideals and stuff, and getting more of a real view of what what our culture really is, and where it really is. That it's really fascinating, and it can be frustrating, and it can be scary, and but I think at the same time, it's positive. It'll ultimately be positive, and I think that it will. We'll figure it out as we mature with these technologies and stuff, as we get used to it, as we have generations that really kind of develop and grow up into cultures of behavior and stuff with these technologies. Then then for the most part, I think it will change, and it'll get more productive. And it's just how it goes. As these technologies mature, the longer we have them, automobiles, airplanes, all kinds of weaponry and stuff. Typically, we get more responsible with this stuff. At least that's what's supposed to happen, and what generally does in most cases. Maybe there's a few in there that don't get quite the attention that they need, as far as maturing as technology in our culture. But man, I am trailing off here. Let's see, what's this guy gonna have? A little bit there. And as you can see with some of this, I mean, it's not, and these are all just scribbles. I'm just plotting out. I'm not worried about perfect circles. I'm not worried about any hardcore heavy details. I'm not getting stuck on, oh, does this arm look right? Is this good? Is that does that look stupid? Or I don't care right now. Part of this is just creative sketching, being a little silly with it, being a little loose, keeping that creativity, you know, a lot of creativity is there's a bit of chaos in it, a bit of embracing the chaos, a bit of well, let's just see what happens, you know, instead of, you know, the pressure of am I doing it right? Am I, you know, all of that can come later, you know, the shading, the lighting, the proportions, whether or not something actually properly fits, um, all of that stuff can be worried about at another stage past this like conceptual sketching, where this is really just where the play happens. This is one of my favorite parts. This is just creative. It's just, you know, there's no rendering I have to worry about, details and stuff, you know, and you get to a certain point of size, and it doesn't, you know, there is no room for detail. Not really. You know, you really have to stick with like the most basic detail. And as I go, you'll notice I'm not really doing any erasing. I'm not worried about anything like that, because obviously what we'll do here is I can reduce, and digitally, I mean, this makes everything so much easier. We can reduce the opacity of these. I've got my murder bots on a different layer than IO here. This guy right here, he is the unlikely candidate here that we'll go in here now, and we're going to play with this guy. We will dial him in a little bit. Let's see. Made a mistake. So we'll just take a couple steps back. Put this line here. Kind of brings all of that. Okay. So now, oh, let me get some coffee. So now here I'm going to fuss, add detail, add other greeblies and stuff, play with the shapes a little bit more. And let's see, up here, got a little bit of overlap with this other Murderbot guy. One of the other things too, I mean, this is all still conceptual, so I might be backing up a couple steps here and there, but I'm not trying to worry about everything being perfectly clean. What I want to do now is really look at what I've put together with my conceptual sketch, and kind of develop it out, refine things, you know, add in a few other details, look at, let's see that little secret eyebrow. That made him mad. You know, in a way, I mean, I guess these are kind of like robot beholders, you know, from D&D. And maybe that's kind of where, you know, I'm really kind of like lifting the base idea off of. I mean, other than, you know, I mean, I guess maybe a little bit of a tiny Death Star. You know, not really. I mean, that's just one of those things that like wasn't intentional, but as I started drawing these guys, you know, it just kind of occurred to me like, oh, it's kind of like Death Star with arms. They're really tiny. I mean, that'd be pretty funny if, like, a Death Star the size of a Death Star, and these robot arms that would come out, like some kind of Mel Brooks, Spaceballs 3, The Search for 2, their big old Statue of Liberty Transformer robot. Let's see here. Yeah, we're talking about getting some music on this thing. Maybe some generic copyright-free music. Maybe just in the intro. I don't know. I think once things really start getting a little bit more regular and normal, then Kenny and I are going to put a little bit more into the production of it. Start refining things, fussing over parts, getting a little bit more critical. Right now, though, it's just kind of happy to be here, you know. Just trying to do a little creative thing. Doing the YouTube kind of game these days, like the kids are doing, you know, getting some of them YouTubes. Speaking of which, you know, if you want to do those sorts of things like the like and subscribe, I would definitely encourage you to do that. That's going to mean a lot for the success and the viability of this channel. Give me a little bit more time to grow. Well, I guess I'm going to take the time I need. But yeah, I mean, it would really mean a lot, as it often does for YouTube content creators. Get that threshold for that sweet monetization, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we got a bunch of links in our description in all of these videos. You know, you don't have to catch them live. We're just going to keep posting them up here after they're done. And then, oh, and then, I mean, especially right now, until we get a little bit better of a setup and I understand how this stuff works better, I have no idea if anybody's watching or not. I'm not looking at any status screen. I can't see if anybody is trying to comment or anything. And I think right now that's just fine with me. I'm just going to talk and draw. Talk and draw. See where it goes from there. I'm sure that you know, I'll get more into seeing who's getting on and saying hi and blah blah. Especially as all of this gets a little bit more regular, as I said, I'll figure out more of what I can handle, how I want to format all of this stuff. If I want to just start from zero every time, or maybe continue something next time, or do some inking kind of stuff, or already have something kind of pre-drawn, you know, we can just show off something a little bit more developed, finished kind of artwork. I realize this is not like the super impressive, polished, finished, final Batman cover kind of artwork. This is just, you know, this is the wandering, this is the playing, this is just having fun with it, you know. There is not any serious goal or intent other than to draw for about half an hour. And man, I'm thinking the better I get at talking, the more I'm gonna be drinking coffee. Maybe we'll see. One of the things I'm also trying to be aware of, especially as I go back and I rewatch these things and kind of see how I'm doing, how my pacing is, how my speech is working out, those little things and weird vocal tics or whatever. To become more aware of that stuff, try to do it less, try to be more self-aware in that kind of way. I'm not going to be too worried about long pauses, weird dead time, especially if I'm getting down into it and getting carried away with the drawing. You know, if I just need to shut up for a second and focus on something that's going on with the art, then I will do so. I'm just going to work in shadows, a really good depth kind of shading trick is to thicken the line work that is on the shadow side. That'll give you some illusion of edges, thickness, depth. That's all often. I'll often thicken up these underlines on the bottom of an object. And once they're facing away from my light source, in general, I rely on a very generic light source of up here. That way, I mean, it's above, which most light sources are, like the sun and overhead lighting and buildings and stuff. So that's a good logical kind of rule of thumb, as it were, and it's also, it's just easy, you know. You can kind of get used to it. You can see where my little shine in this eye is always kind of like automatically just drawn at this light source. If I need something else, yeah, sure, I'll move the light source. I'll change that up, but that's more like a need than just doing it just to do it. Where if I'm gonna just do a light source just to do a light source, then it's gonna be like this. That way I'm not spending too much time, and I guess to a certain point there's a comfort zone thing in there. I mean, it's not really like I'm not challenging myself every time with my light sources, but I am using common logical shortcuts with that sort of thing. Leave some of my other creative decision making freed up instead of losing time worried about if my light source is what it needs to be. I mean, yeah, if I need something really like dramatic or ominous and underlighting, if a set or an environment requires something else, then absolutely, you know, no problem. Then we'll put in whatever light source we need, and I will look forward to it. But especially for something like this, I'm just gonna work in some greeblies. We're just gonna hatch in some basic shading here. This guy, like that. Some of this to feel like shading, not like greatly detailed. Here, there's a real popular saying in professional comic book artists, when in doubt, black it out. effect. Part might be missing. I mean, this isn't missing anything, and it's perfect. So, no worries there. Let's see. And so here we have a very friendly and utilitarian robot. He is just here to help. All his friends. Yeah, let's do a little bit more. Let's just rotation. So that's Alright, some free sound effects there. Alright, so yeah. This is pretty good here. What are we at? Just about 45 minutes. So let me straighten up here, return to my video position, and yeah, so we got a little murder bot there with some katanas, I guess. Played around with some general ideas. I mean, anything here I didn't necessarily. I mean, these are characters that I already have created. They're part of the sequential disorder thing, and so I guess relying a little bit on that helped me get a little bit more done creatively here, where I could just kind of jump into something and play with it, and still be able to move around, just kind of like take it where it wants me to go. And yeah, and so we got some good time in on this one. I think that from here we're just gonna wrap it up. So I'll move to this screen. Yeah, see. And yeah, I think that's it. You know, like I said, like and subscribe. Links are in the description. I'm going to be trying to do this as often as I can, but I've got to really work it into the routine, get things, you know, going on in a sustainable, reasonable way. Not trying to burn myself out. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Catch you later.